Vorstellung is Hegel's term for a symbolic representation in religion. Well, science is just a symbolic way of talking. Mathematics is a symbolic way of talking. Logic is a symbolic way of talking. Ethics, in terms of motive and action, is a symbolic way of talking. It's not a representation that has a one-to-one correspondence to the way things are. The world, as my idea, is a world projected by my will, because I'm imposing my will on the world and imposing my categories of thought on it. But that's the fourfold root of sufficient reason. Now notice when he says sufficient reason, that draws on Leibniz's phrase, the law of sufficient reason. Everything in the ordered array of monads is the way it is for sufficient reason. Nothing happens without sufficient reason. The law of sufficient reason is like a causal principle. Principle of necessity. This is the way it must be. Cannot be another way. The best of all possible worlds turns out to be the only possible world for Leibniz. Necessity. But such sufficient reason is a notion, a structure that we impose on things, according to Schopenhauer. It's a projection of my will. Well, if we want to talk then about reality, the key is in realizing that the self is at its root a will, an impulsive, driving, conative thing. But one of the interesting ways in which he develops this has a lot of influence on the existentialists later on. He comes at it not by looking at human thought, because that's the way to phenomena only, but by looking at the way I live bodily. His phenomenology turns out to be a phenomenology of what now becomes known as the lived body. Now the adjective is important. The body treated as an object of study is not the body that you live. A lived body is your conscious bodily experience. The consciousness of being bodily. A lived bodily experience. You can get the difference between objective time measured by physical motion and lived time, where lived time will drag or race or stand still, you see. Likewise, you can get the difference between death as a biological phenomenon and death as something you live as you die. You see. Well, obviously, for the existentialist, the existential qualities are vastly different. And likewise, for Schopenhauer, he's concerned with this lived body kind of experience. And so take a look, if you will, at page 92 and following, where he introduces this. The bottom of 92, section number 18. The meaning that I'm looking for of the world stands before me simply as my representation. It can never be found if the investigator were nothing more than a purely knowing subject, a winged cherub without a body. But he himself is rooted in the world. He finds himself in it as an individual, and is nevertheless given entirely through the medium of a body and the affections of this body at the starting point of the understanding and the perception of the world. See, the starting point of understanding for Kant was the empirical input, the sensory input. You see? And so here he is picking up on the reality of the lived body. Look at 93 at the top of the page. No, take it back. 92, halfway down the page. To the subject of knowing, the knowing subject, me, who appears as an individual only through his identity with the body. Oh, yeah. Who appears as an individual only through identity with the body. Sure, that's how we identify as individuals, isn't it? You see? That's the appearance. This body is given in two entirely different ways. It's given an intelligent perception as representation, an object among objects, liable to the laws of those objects, the necessities, sufficient reason. But it's also given in a different way, namely as what's known immediately to everyone, denoted by the word will. Every true act of will is at once inevitably a movement of the body. He cannot actually will and act without at the same time being aware that it appears as a movement of the body. Then the top of 93, in a certain sense, it can be said that the will is knowledge a priori of the body. Then page 99, he takes the step from my will to will in itself. About 12 lines from the bottom of the page, it's apparent from what has been said that the will, as thing in itself, lies outside of the province of the principle of sufficient reason in all its forms. It's completely groundless. It's not a consequent of some ground. It's groundless. Although each of its phenomena is subject to that principle. It's free from all plurality, although its phenomena are innumerable. It's itself one, yet not as an object is one. For the unity of an object is known only in contrast to possible plurality. The will is not one as a concept is one. A concept originates by abstraction. It's one as that which lies outside of time and space, outside any principle of individuation. That is to say, outside the very possibility of plurality. You see, if my individual identity is that of a will, a being with a will of my own, my will, which identifies me. Not my ideas are many, but there's a unified will. Then the ultimate reality is that of a unified will, an absolute will. Not absolute mind, as in Hegel, but absolute will, in Schopenhauer. So that's the theme that he develops then. The thing in itself is of the nature of will. The absolute is will, manifesting itself blindly, by urge, by creative outburst. Get the romanticism? Now, that has all sorts of consequences for Schopenhauer, pessimistic consequences. It means that at the heart of reality there is an endless striving from which there is no escape. If you get away from endless striving, what's left is boredom and pain. So in this world there is only unsatisfied desire, unfulfilled will, or else boredom and pain. Says Schopenhauer, this is the worst of all possible worlds. The worst of all possible worlds. You see here, this is at the roots of Sartre from his pessimism later on. You can overcome that worst in degree by aesthetic experience, which is contemplative, representational, but that's absorbing yourself in the world as idea. You can turn to ethical responsibility and fight to overcome self-will, gain sympathy with others and merge your will, not as a craving of your own, but merge your will, the will of the absolute will. But what does that do to your own will? The third alternative is an asceticism that negates the will, represses the will. But if the world is a projection of my will, then if I repress my will, I negate my world. So if I have no will to see, to think, to observe, then there's nothing. The state of nothingness is the result. Well, the selections in Hartmann include all of that, page 122 to 126. Did I say Hartmann in Gardner? I said Hartmann because Schopenhauer had sort of a disciple, a follower, Edward von Hartmann, who, agreeing with Schopenhauer's pessimism, said that the final act of will, of course, has to be an act of suicide. And so if this is the worst of all possible worlds, then suicide, of course, is the consequence, which is back to some of the early Cyrenaic hedonists of Hellenistic times. But if you read Albert Camus and his myth of Sisyphus, in which he discusses the ethics of suicide, he's discussing it because of this Schopenhauer-Hartmann business. What do you do in a world where the dialectic has left things without a synthesis, in the worst of all possible worlds? You say, that's Schopenhauer's question, which the existentialists try to answer. And I think it's fair to say that religious existentialists pose the synthesis. The pessimistic existentialists have no synthesis to pose. Well, I guess we're about a minute over time. Okay. Read Schopenhauer.